Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a police station for all of your city building needs. Our police station has a waiting/reception area. It has a vehicle garage. It has a jail area with individual jail cells. Our police station has 2 floors, which necessitates a staircase. On the 2nd floor, we have an office area where detectives and police people can do their desk work. We have the captain's office. We have an interrogation room. We also have a processing area. This is where you would have your mugshot taken. And you also have the 2-way mirror so that you can see into the interrogation room. And last but not least, we have the roof access door, which of course has the police helicopter. Just below it, we have a compounding and storage facility for police vehicles and vehicles that have been, for a lack of a better word, confiscated. We have police cars and police motorcycles. We even have a riot van. And when you put that all together, you will find that you have a pretty impressive police station. However, in this tutorial, we will only be building everything that you can see on the screen right now. You will have to follow part 2 to make all of the other things that I showed you, but I just thought it'd be really fun to show you everything all together as it's supposed to look once you eventually finish everything. If you are new around here, please do consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That will ensure that you get all of my stuff sent directly to your sub box and you won't miss any of the police related tutorials that I'm going to be putting out, including the inside of the police station, the police car, the police chopper, the riot van, and the police helicopter. All of those are going to be separate tutorials, which you will be able to find in the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section as they all get released. But without any further ado, let's get started. Start building, ladies and gentlemen. Here are all of the materials that we are going to need to make our police station. Please do make sure that you have access to all of those materials and enough of them as well. The amount of ground space required to make the station is a 46 by 42 block area on the ground. Do feel free to make this grid in your world if you do feel as though it will help you in planning out your city. And that's it. Pause the video if you have to, gather all that stuff, make sure that you've got enough room to make it, make sure you're ready, and once you are, we can make this awesome police station. Step 1, officers, come all the way over to the front left hand corner of your grid. That is of course if you've made the grid, if not, it's no big deal. From the front left hand corner, count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is the starting position. Place 9 white concrete on top of this block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to extend that 5th block all the way down to the ground. I then want you to return upwards and extend further across by an additional 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then extend that block down to the ground, just like this. I want you to take the entire road that you extended to the ground and extend it backwards by 2 rows. 1, 2. And I do mean the entire rows as well. Once you have extended those entire rows backwards, I want you to, going right of the bottom of the 2nd row, place 4 pillar quartz block coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stick a quartz slab on top. Extend the quartz slab to the right by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then join that block down to the ground using your pillar quartz block. What I then want you to do is front right diagonally in relation to the pillar quartz block, place 2 rows of white concrete moving forward. So 1, 2, like this. Extend the white concrete upwards by 3 rows. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. I then want you to take the top of the row of the most outward white concrete, and I want you to place 4 blue concrete blocks going right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a white concrete, 4 more blue, 1, 2, 3, 4. White concrete, 4 more blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a white concrete. And I want you to join all of the white concretes down to the ground, every single one of them, all the way down, just like this. That is perfect. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to extend the white concretes backwards, each one of them. We'll actually leave this end one alone though. The reason being is we're going to extend this backwards by a certain amount, and I don't want to get confused. So what we actually need right now is some stone brick stairs. So we're just going to chuck away, say, the smooth stone for a bit, and we're going to grab these stone brick stairs. These 3 holes are garages. These garages are made simply by placing stone brick stairs in between all of the empty space behind the first row of white and blue concrete. You'll leave 2 gaps in the top middle of the garage door to place a little bit of glass there, and that's how we make every single door. So not this first row, but the second. We place 2 rows of stone brick stairs on top of each other, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and glass in between. And we'll do this 3 times in total. And if you wanted to, you could extend the police station further and make a larger garage, if you really wanted to. The end result should look like this. What we can now do is come to the side of the garage area, and we can focus on extending the garage backwards. I want to place 18 rows of white concrete coming backwards from this original row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 18 long rows of white concrete extending backwards from that very first row will give us a long wall to the garage. Like this. What we then want to do is we want to move around to the back of the garage, and we want to add a few details. So first of all, we're going to extend this top white concrete block across by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And join down to the ground. Extend another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And join down to the ground. Extend another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And join down to the ground. Like this. So we'll end up with a set of 3 spacers, pretty equivalent to the garage. So this middle space is an entrance. I'm going to place blue concrete on the left and right sides of this entrance. I'm going to join it together at the top with some black stained glass. And I think for the moment I'll get rid of the terracotta, iron bars and stone brick stairs, and I'm just going to grab the dark oak doors and smooth stone. I'm just going to destroy a little bit of the grass surrounding the door so that I don't have to do this later, and replace it with smooth stone. And a double door is back here. You see, this is going to be kind of like a vehicle storage area, so maybe vehicles that have been compounded, or maybe vehicles that the police use themselves. That's all stored back here, that's why we have a door. The remaining areas are going to be just windows, so these can simply be blue concrete rows inside of the white frame at the bottom, and then we extend the right and left sides upwards so they look like U shapes, and then we can just fill the middle of them in with some black stained glass. It's a very modern looking police station. Here we are. Perfect. So that's what the back part here really does want to look like. What we're then going to do is extend this row of white concrete here on the right. We're going to extend it inwards by 2 rows. So that's going to be 1, and that'll be 2. What we then have to do is extend the top block of that second row of white concrete inwards to the right, and then extend upwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go to the right by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What we then want to do is we want to extend 2 rows forwards from this 14th block, 1, 2, and extend a row upwards on top of those 3 blocks as to create this shape. You can join all of those white concretes down to the ground, all of these 3, the ones that you just extended a row up on top of, like this, because I want to create some solid walls to make it a bit more obvious what we're doing. And additionally, if you like, you can also fill in the entire area underneath the long white wall that we just created. You're more than welcome to add windows into the builds. Additional ones that I am going to point out anyway. We are going to be adding a window to this wall. And in the window is placed, if we come all the way down to the bottom left hand corner, you move upwards to the right diagonally 1, destroy, to the right and above, and there we have a little window. I do realise that the back of the build may look a little bit bland, but there is opportunity for more windows, but that'll be more so covered in part 2 when we start doing the inside. You don't want to add random windows until you see what's going to be on the other side of the wall. So now that we have done that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to swap over onto the right side here, and we're going to continue building. So we're going to take the very top of this row here on the right and extend to the right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend that down to the ground. This is going to be very parallel to the front of the build. So we want to once more extend this white concrete block to the right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then join it all the way down to the ground. And as I mentioned, you'll see very many similarities between the front and the back here. So, on the back of the build, the windows are a little bit different, but not drastically so. I'm going to recommend that you first of all place in these 2 large empty spaces where these windows are, place a row of blue concrete going all the way around the inside of the white concrete space like this, so a large rectangular shape. And I want you to do the same just to the right side here as well, so 2 large blue rectangles like this, kind of like top to bottom. It might look a little bit weird at the moment, but that'll look so much better in a moment. What we have to do is cut them in half. So you want to leave 2 blocks from the top and 2 blocks from the bottom, and you want to fill the 2 middle blocks in using blue concrete. So they kind of look like the number 8, 88. We're going to add a little bit of flair to them using some quartz slabs. So we'll place quartz slabs along the top of the bottom windows. We'll leave half a gap, and then we'll place some quartz slabs just up above. So it kind of just cuts the space up a little bit. We'll fill the right windows in with white concrete. These are important because this is a processing area, this top right corner, and this is a jail cell, so we're not going to give them windows. You can if you like, but again, wait until we do the inside and then you can add that sort of stuff, trust me. This left side here, however, can just be glass panes, so this left side, these can actually just be full-on windows, and it doesn't really interfere with anything. So far, this is what the back looks like. It's very simple, but it will look so much better later on. Now, onto this side. This side, we are going to begin here just by filling it in. So we're just going to completely fill it in using white concrete. There are windows on this side of the build. And once again, this will be the last time that I say it, I promise. If you want to add additional windows later on, feel free to do it, but just do it after part 2, because there is a reason that this building doesn't have even more windows than it does, because it would actually interfere with the inside, and it'd be a shame to kind of like make the inside a little bit weird by adding like loads and loads and loads of windows. So, now that it's filled in with white concrete, I want you to come down to the bottom left hand corner. I want you to move upwards to the right diagonally, and then I want you to move right by 1, 2, 3. Destroy this block, the one next to it, the 2 up above. I want you to leave a gap of 3 going right, 1, 2, 3, and then destroy 2 by 2. Also, From the first window, leave a gap of 2 moving upwards and destroy another 2x2. So that is a gap of 2. I do repeat, a gap of 2. The upper window can be filled in with glass. However, these lower windows, very naughty. We're going to add bars on them. These are jail cells, and the prisoners do deserve, I think, this is just my opinion, daylight. So we are giving them a little bit of daylight by placing some iron bars on the windows. And now that that has been complete, ladies and gentlemen, that leads us to the front of the building. So when it comes to the front of the building, first of all, we're pretty much just going to work left to right here. These 2 areas are windows, and we're going to work them out in the same way that we did the back. So we're going to place 2 large squares of rectangular blue concrete, and we're going to do this for both of them. And this is going to basically be the framing for the windows for the front. The front actually has way more windows than all of the other sides because that's kind of the show face of the police station. The rest of it's kind of the working face. We want to cut these in half, which means that we want to have 2 rows of blue in the middle, and we want to have a 2x2 square of empty space above and below. Place quartz slabs above the lower windows and leave half a row's gap and place another row of slab. We're then going to fill the windows in using black stained glass paint, and that's all she wrote on this. The lower half of this is actually part of the jail area, but it's not where the cells are. That's these 2 windows. And this is like an interrogation room, and I don't see the reason to have any bars or anything there because the prisoner is going to be like shackled to the table. So you can make these bars though if you want all of them or any of them. So the next thing that we want to do here is we're going to focus a little bit on the upper bit, and then we can do the entrance area. So when I say the upper bit, I want you to place white concrete directly behind all of the quartz slab blocks above the entrance area. And I want you to extend the white concrete upwards by 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. And that's all of them, by the way, so extend every single white concrete just upwards by 3 rows. Just like this. Fantastic. The next thing that we're going to do is create some windows. So the windows are going to sit directly in the middle of the 4 rows. On the left here, we're just going to leave a gap of 1 and create a 2x2 space. Leave a gap of 3, do the same. Leave a gap of 3, do the same. So the windows will actually be placed perfectly even. These windows will lead into the office area where like the detectives and the officers like work on their computers and stuff. So you can have quite a few windows on that particular part. Additionally, I'm just going to join the front and the back of the build together using white concrete. So this area here, this is obviously part of the office, but this is also how you would access the helipad. This area here. We'll be doing that once we've filled in the top of the garage. Or sorry, garage. Also, whilst we're at it, I want you to place a row of blue concrete that sits above and around the top of the office area. So 1 row above, 1 row out. It's just going to create, basically it's going to add a nice little bit of colour and it's going to create a bit of depth, and it just makes the area look a little bit better. Or I think so anyway. So the next thing that we're going to do is the entrance area. So the entrance area, we're first of all going to place some more pillar quartz rows. We're going to leave gaps of 2 in between the pillar quartz rows, and we're going to add another row of pillar quartz rows. So like this, so leave a gap of 2, more pillar quartz. I want you to extend all of the pillar quartz, well, not all, extend the inner pair of pillar quartz inwards by 1 row. And you'll see why. We might even make it 2, but we'll see, So we want to have something which should look like this. The reason being is because I want you to place 2 rows of blue concrete joining together between the back pair of pillar quartz blocks, like this. And then behind this, and I don't know what to do here. I don't know whether to add another row of pillar quartz block behind each one of these or not, but we can clean that up in the next part of the tutorial. This is where the entrance is going to be. So I'm just going to dig out a little bit of this grass here, and I'm going to place a little bit of stone. because I want a double door in the middle, and this is behind the blue concrete entrance, and I want to place glass left and right of the door, and I want to have some white concrete left and right of the glass. White concrete because it stands out. And then above the door we can either fill it in with blue concrete, or maybe we'll make that white, or we'll do all sorts of other things, but that's really a part 2 problem. So that leaves us with something that should look like this, which looks quite fancy really, I do think. So that means that we now want to take these 2 areas on the left and right, we want to place blue concrete in the bottom and top areas. And then we want to place glass in between them. Now, we are going to have to place a little bit of wall to have the glass to stick onto it. But that gives you the good gist of what this is supposed to look like. It looks quite fancy, doesn't it? Now, it will only get better once we progress a little bit more. I'm going to place white concrete next to these rows. Yeah, next to the rows of the, there we go, of the windows. I'm placing the white concrete. Now, this white concrete row on the right can just straight up be connected, I think, right to the wall here. So, just like this, we're just going to connect the front and the back. Now, this might have been a grievous error. I don't really want to mess around with the inside and create walls where I shouldn't until we actually get to that point. So, I'll tell you what, I do apologize if it turns out we've got to take that wall out. I'm not going to add any more to the interior because, again, that's a part 2 problem. So now that we have done most of the outside, like this, the next thing that I just want to do is I want to add a roof to the garage. Now the roof's very simple because it's just made out of smooth stone. If you wanted to, you could actually create a frame using your white concrete. So like you could connect the white concrete here on this side together, and then you can place some smooth stone in between if you wanted to. Or you could have it a multitude of different ways. You could just straight up fill the roof in with, say, like white concrete or blue, or, edit whatever you want really. But that's what we're going with right here. We're just gonna fill in the smooth stone. You could even smooth it off, so to speak, like at the front, like you could add another row of white to like here where the smooth stone is, and then it might look a little bit smoother, ironically, but I'm okay with it looking like that, to be honest with you. And once this is done, we do have a few more things to do, but we are rapidly approaching where this is starting to look like a proper police station. That's looking good. So this area here, leading from the office onto where the helipad shall be, is going to need an entrance. So we're going to start at the bottom right hand corner here, on the back part of this building, and we're going to count forwards by 2, 1, 2, destroy a 2x2 block area, place a double door, and then we're going to leave a gap of 1, and we're going to have a 3x2 window, like this. And it's just going to be quite a large window. We can have black stained glass pane, and to make the window look a little bit less pronounced, I might place a little bit of glass block above the doors as well, and I don't think that'll hurt anybody. I also do think that we can probably add a window back here, parallel to where the window is on the front, but if we end up deleting that again, I do apologize. So that's what we want to have so far. We've done a huge amount of the build. I want to fill the roofs in. The roofs can easily be filled in. I'm going to disconnect them first though. So I'm going to, this part of the roof here, this part of the roof, I'm just going to completely fill in with white concrete. And this is obvious, it's quite obviously separate, like it's a larger part of the build, so I'm just going to have white concrete. And then the smaller part where the office is going to be, I'm just going to fill it in a little bit with quartz slabs. And that's quite a timely task, I'm realizing. So do feel free to fill both of the roofs in with their respective materials. There we go. Doesn't that look a lot better? So once you've got those 2 roofs filled in for yourself, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to mark out what I would call the kind of like compounding area and the police vehicle storage area. So to make this, we don't need that much stuff. I recommend grabbing the terracotta, the iron bars, and probably the grey concrete too. So this is going to begin on the left side of the garage, and it all starts off with terracotta. I want you to place 9 rows of it coming forwards from the left side of the garage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I then want you to place 4 rows of iron bars going right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I want you to place 16 more terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We are then going to extend the 16th row backwards. And we're going to extend it backwards by, this is a hefty number, 38. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. And then you can extend it across and join to this part of the station here. So this is the sort of area that we have. It's quite a large area, really, isn't it? I mean, if you wanted to, by the way, it could extend, depending on how mental you want it to be, it could extend all the way back, and it could join to that back corner if you wanted to have a huge area. This is where these things become kind of your own design. And all we're going to do with this area is we're going to extend up the corners, place iron bars on top of all of the terracotta, and there's not really that much more to it. You can create parking spaces within the area, if you like, although I imagine that you probably don't have to, but I will show you where you can place a few, if you do like. But if we start off there, just by placing some iron bars and extend all of the terracotta, then it's quite a nice secure looking area, isn't it? So, no parking spaces on the front, but I did think to myself that if we wanted to, we could have parking spaces on the back that coincided with the rows of white concrete that we have built into the build. So the parking spaces would be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks long, and they would coincide with where the building naturally separates from itself, if that makes sense. So here, and then we could even add like another row here just to kind of show that that's where things end, that you're getting too close to the wall perhaps. So if you wanted to, you can add those spaces. I mean, they're a bit arbitrary. Well, they're not arbitrary because they are like parallelly built, whatever the word is. They are built in reference to the building, but I mean, again, you don't have to add those. We have to dig up all of the grass, every single part of the grass, all of it, no exception, inside of this, and we have to replace it using some grey concrete. This is actually going to take quite a long time, so that is where one of these timely tasks also go fast forward. So I'm going to rip up all the grass and I'm going to replace it all with some grey concrete. So this is what the area will look like once it's been completely filled in with all of the grey concrete, and if you do choose to also add the parking spaces as well, then that will also be a nice little bit of detail. So this is what we are left with now that we have completed the car garage compounding space police vehicle area. We now have to make the police sign, banner, sign, least favorite part of the tutorial part. So this requires us to grab the crafting table, blue banners, white dye and blue dye. So the crafting table, by the way, I'd highly recommend using a loom instead, but I know that not all of you guys are able to get a loom, so we're going to go with the crafting table. We're going to chuck that down on the ground and we're going to crack it open, go all the way over to this part here. I'd recommend placing the blue banner and the white dye and the blue dye all together, just to make it a little bit easier like this. And we're going to start off by adding P. So that's going to be a blue banner in the middle of the table, white dye along the top. Grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, and place white dye running along the right side. Grab that banner, place it in the top middle of the table, and place 2 rows of blue dye directly underneath it. Grab that banner, place it in the top middle of the table again, and place an entire row of white dye underneath it. Grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, and place a stick of white running up the left side, and that is P. Now we have to do O, so that's a brand new banner in the middle of the table, white dye along the left side. grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, and white dye along the top. Grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, and run white dye along the right side. Grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, and place white dye underneath. Grab that banner, and that is O. Now is L, so that's going to be a brand new banner in the middle of the table, with white dye running along the left side. Grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table again, with white dye underneath. Grab that banner, and that is L, so P-O-L. Grab a brand new banner, place it in the middle left of the table, with a row of white dye running up the entire middle, and that's I, so P-O-L-I. Next, we have to have C, so that's a brand new banner in the middle of the table, white dye along the bottom of the banner, grab that, place it in the middle of the table again, place white dye along the top, grab that, place the banner in the middle of the table again, and place white dye running along the left side, and that is C, P-O-L-I-C. Final banner, blue banner in the middle of the table, white dye along the bottom of it. Grab that, place it in the top middle of the table, with white dye running through the middle, left to right. Grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, with white dye running along the top. Grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, and then we just want to have white dye running along the left side. And there we have police. This is going to be hung directly above these double doors here at the entrance. P-O-L-I-C-E, police. I mean, technically I say police, but I think police, does that sound better? Police? Anyway, I'm grabbing a chest, and I'm going to chuck one here. And I'm going to just place all of these banners and the banner making equipment inside of it, just in case something goes horrifically wrong. I'd be very sad if I had to make that banner again, to be honest. So, now that we have made the banner, ladies and gentlemen, the next, and this is the last thing that we've got to do, is we've just got to reformat the ground around the police station a little bit. So, what we're basically going to do here, let me just destroy that. What we're basically going to do is we're going to create a footpath for the police station. That requires smooth stone. We're going to place some fake grass, which requires lime and green terracotta, and finally a little bit of grey concrete. So, first of all, we're going to have a footpath that leads you to the entrance of the police station. The footpath is 4 blocks wide, and it spans the width of the... Well, I've destroyed a little more than I should. And it spans the width between the glass area here and the double oak doors. So it's only about 4 blocks wide. That's the sort of space that the footpath is going to require. You make it as long as you like. I'm making it to the border boundary, but you will want to, say, connect it to a street or a road or something like that, depending on where you're building this. This footpath is actually going to span the left and right side of the build. It's going to come all the way over here to the right, like this. And it's going to come, I just realized that I destroyed part of my path. And it's going to come all the way over here to the left as well, like this. And to give you a visual representation, this is kind of like the path that it's going to go. So it's kind of like an upside down T or an anchor shape or, you know, something like that. So that's how it's going to be. That's where the path goes. So just basically, that's just to show you it's kind of like it's going to connect to a street or something like that. I'd recommend digging out the area in between the bars of the garage / compounding area and just extend to a road. So this is going to connect to a road. There's going to be a road in front of my police station as well. This isn't included in the plan because I figure that you guys are going to have your own roads and everything laid out in your cities. So I didn't make the plan including a road outside of it. So this will just like drop straight into a city. It'll lead right to like a main road like you can see there. So that's kind of how we've got things set out. So I will add a road at the end of this, just for myself, just so that you can see how it all connects together. But basically, everywhere that's not path and road, I'm going to have fake grass, and that's going to be made out of 2 rows of lime terracotta with a row of green terracotta behind it. So you can see within the lines, that's all going to be path. Going to have grass here, fake grass here as well, and we're even going to have a big patch of fake grass here behind the police station too. So I'm going to accomplish all of those things, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to dig out all that area. I'm going to add in all the fakeness and all the path. And then once we've finished it, we'll actually be done with the tutorial, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that crazy? So this is what the entire area will look like once it's been completely dug out and filled in with grass, path, and if you like, you can also add a road. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. There's no more. We have completed this part of the tutorial. So hopefully, by the time that you have finished, you should be looking at your 100% fully completed police station. The entire outside is done. We have the entire building, we have the grass area surrounding it, we have all of the ins and outs of the police station complete, we have the garage / compounding area. This is everything that we should have. And that's it. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all of my stuff sent directly to your sub box. And not only that, of course, if you are subscribed, please do check and make sure that that bell is clicked, as that will absolutely make sure that you do get those things, all of my videos sent directly to your sub box. And if you are interested in making part 2 of the police station, then you can find that in the card system, the description below, and the top of the comment section as well. I will be leaving a link to the city builds playlist and the individual tutorials that you'll be looking for, and any other police related builds that I will be building in the future too. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate all of you very, very, very much. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.